Tonight it's going to be 30 degrees. Last night it was 30 degrees, and we're finally going to hit a spell of wintertime here in Northwest Florida. So this week, Josh and I are going to go fishing starting tomorrow morning. We're going to go out and we're going to try to get some video of how we catch fish once it's actually cold. That water temperature is going to drop. Typically in the wintertime, it'll fluctuate between 53 and 61 in some areas. We had a nice little warm spell, cold front. It's going to stop that. We're getting a little bit of rain later in the week. So I'm going to talk to you guys about it today, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do as the week progresses and how we're going to fish. The goal will be to film a bit of information while we are on the water like we did in that video about the jerk baits, on how to slow down and fish an area thoroughly when you expect it to be fish, but it's cold and there's not much activity. So what we're going to do, we're going to throw the stick baits, okay? We're going to throw it in a variety of colors depending on where we're at, but it's hard to go wrong with the ghost shrimp. The trout have loved it. The redfish love it. And we're going to be working it slow, like a ghost shrimp, sitting on the bottom. Get this thing hooked up real quick, like so. Nothing to it. Okay, so this thing is designed to stand up just like this in the water. It's going to land in the mud. It's going to land in the sand. It's going to sit on top of some grass. And it's going to stand up just like so. You can actually kind of see it. It might be hard for you guys to see it, but the tail is constantly moving. Even when it's just sitting here at rest. I'm not moving. It just keeps wiggling. When the current is hitting that, it's going to do this underneath the water. It might roll, it might tumble a little bit, and it'll look like a dying ghost shrimp or a dying eel or a dying bait fish, and it'll just get picked up. One thing is important when you're fishing this, you know, we'll call it dead sticking. It's going to fall over because there's no sand or water to hold it up. But you need to keep your rod tip low. You need to keep it semi-taut. If you have any kind of slack in your line, you're never going to feel those fish come up and hit this lure. So it's important to keep your rod tip out of the front of the kayak between 10 and 2. And then have enough line in there that you could do this and the fish is hooked here. Oftentimes people will hold the rod tip back here, the rod's over here, they'll hold the rod up here like this, and then you can't set the hook. It's very important you keep the rod tip level with the water, you know, so your rod tip's out here like so off the front of the kayak. Then you can just reel down and whack. You only gotta move your hand about a foot and that rod will recoil perfectly and the fish is hooked. It's very, very important when you are using a finesse tactic to catch these fish because you need to be able to feel that fish bite. We're going to throw this the majority of the week because it's going to produce. Other thing we're going to throw the jerk bait. Now, we only had 9 2-packs available. These things sold out in the first 24 hours. We have some bulk split rings that are arriving later today, so the website will be re-updated, and I'm going to add some more of those 2-packs to it. They're going to sell out quickly as well. It's part of the process. There's a ton of them. They've been doing very, very well for people, and lots of people have already received them. So this thing sinks extremely slowly, like unbelievably slowly. In the video, the last video about this lure, we worked it pretty quickly. The water was warm. There was a lot of bait moving around. Well, that's going to change. Tomorrow morning when we hit the water at sunup, that's not going to be the case. Not going to be a lot of water movement. Not going to be a lot of bait moving around. It's going to be cold. So we're going to throw this thing out there. And we're going to let it suspend. It's going to sink nice and slow. We're going to pop it. It's going to do a little dart move, and it's just going to sit there. We're going to count to 5, 6, or 7. Now, remember, that number is different for everybody because everybody counts at a different rate. But you need to slow down and fish it slow. The cool thing about a suspending jerkbait is it will sit at a desired depth. Now, you can change that depth based on the size hooks you use, the size split rings, and so on. But that's something that you need to experiment with. It's hard to talk about in details. Because like I said before, the salinity level is always different, and that will change the way the lure behaves. So we're going to get out. We're going to count to, you know, probably 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. Nice and slow on like a 1, 2, 3, and so on. And that lure is just going to slowly fall. And then we're just going to give it a little twitch. Boom. Just enough to move it an inch. And then we're going to count to 5 again. We're going to give it a little twitch again. And that's it. And the fish will come up. The trout will come up and hit this so hard because you are matching the hatch. You are presenting the lure how the bait is acting. The fish aren't that lethargic. They're just keyed in on slow moving bait. And if you're out there ripping this thing all over the place, they're going to be like, what the heck's wrong with that bait fish? You know, what did he eat for breakfast? So keep that in mind. Same with this. There aren't going to be a lot of shrimp just darting all over the place. They're going to be just sitting on the bottom like so, hanging out, not doing much. And that is what you need to represent. You need to represent the speed of the bait, and you'll catch more fish. Now I'm going to get off here because I need to go package all these things up and get them on the website so you guys can keep ordering them. Appreciate it. Ran out of them pretty darn quick, so I had to spend a bunch of time in the garage making them a few days ago. Not a bad thing. Boom. That's that. It's cold. Slow down. You catch more fish. Got questions? Drop them in the comment section.